Alright guys, so today we're doing the Unit 3.4 notes. We're going to be talking about the triangle exterior angle theorem. So our learning target is we're going to be able to use the exterior angle theorem, which we'll talk about here in a second, to solve for missing angles in a triangle. So if we've got some missing angles in a triangle, we can use this thing called the exterior angle theorem, which by definition is that the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle, so the exterior angle, that means an angle that's outside of the triangle, is equal to the sum of the measures of the two remote interior angles. So there's a lot to break down there. Okay? The exterior angle, angle 4, if you have this triangle, angle 4 is on the outside. It's an exterior angle. That angle is equal to the sum of the two remote angles, which means the two that are far away from angle 4. So if you have like a remote control, right, for your TV, that means that you are using that remote control to turn off or on the TV or change the channel from far away. So these two angles are far away from the exterior angle. Okay, it's not this one that's close to it. Okay, so the two remote angles, 2 and 3 here. Okay, so this exterior angle is equal to the two remote angles. That is what we're going to be working with today. That's the math. Okay, that's the basic idea. That's the new concept. Now we're just going to apply that with some examples. Okay, so let's take a look at example 1. It says find x. Well, if you look here, we have a triangle. We have an exterior angle, and we have two remote interior angles. Okay, so let's first say what our exterior angle is. Well, that's x. So we have x equals, if I'm using this equation, x is my exterior angle. So I'm going to call it that. X is going to equal the sum of my two remote interior angles, which are 56 and 72. 56 and 72. So all I have to do is do 56 plus 72, and x would equal 128. Okay, not too bad. So that means that this angle right here is 128 degrees. Cool, not too bad. Let's try number 2. By the way, if you're watching this video, I would pause it for a second and try number 2 on your own and see if you get it right. So pause the video for a second. See if you can do number. We still have a triangle, right? This is our exterior angle now. So our exterior angle is not x. If you notice, this is the angle that's outside of the triangle. So this is 110. So that's our exterior angle. And remember, it's equal to the sum of the interior angles, the remote interior angles. So our remote interior angles are x and 70. So we have x plus 70. So now what we have to do, it's not as simple as the other ones. We actually have to solve for x here. The way we'd solve for x is we would subtract by 70 on both sides and get 40 equals x. Okay? So x is going to equal 40. We figured it out. Now, I want to show you something real quick, another way we could have figured this out. So if you see here, 110, this angle, okay, and this angle, they lie on a straight line. They lie on a straight line. So if you remember, straight lines make the two angles that lie upon it add up to 180 degrees. Right? So that means that 110 plus, let's call this y. Let's call that y. 110 plus y would equal 180 degrees. So to find that angle, we could subtract 110 on both sides. Y would equal 70 degrees. Okay, so if we know that's 70 degrees, we know this is 70 degrees. To find x, couldn't we use the fact that triangle angles add up to 180 degrees? We sure could. So what we could do next is we could do 70 plus x equals 180. Since the sum of the angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. 140 plus x equals 180 degrees. X would equal 40. So if you see here, we got the same answer using both methods. So this might be a good way for you to check your work. Okay, we either used the triangle exterior angle theorem, where we set 110 equal to x plus 70, or we used both the supplementary angle idea and the sum of the angles in a triangle add up to 180 to figure it out as well. Either way works. Okay, let's try number 4. We're again solving for x, so let's use the triangle exterior angle theorem. Okay, again, to do this. This is our exterior angle. These are our remote interior angles. If you see here, this is outside the triangle. So let's do 11x minus 2 equals 45 plus 4x plus 2. All right, cool. Well, we've got a lot going on here with our x's and our numbers. But remember, our first step is always going to be to combine like terms. I can combine 45 and 2 to give me 47 plus 4x. And then I want x's on one side. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this 4x over to this side by subtracting it. I would get 7x minus 2 equals 47. I'm almost there. Now I want all my numbers on one side. So I would add 2 to both sides. 7x equals 49. Divide by 7. X would equal 7. Again, if you use this strategy that I used over here, we would come up with the same answer. Last couple problems. These are a little bit trickier. It says find the measure of the indicated angle. So we're not just solving for x here. Okay, we're going to have one more step. So let's take a look at number 7. Same idea. We see that there's a triangle. See that there's a triangle. This is the exterior angle. So let's write that first. 14x minus 6 equals 5x plus 15 plus 60. Okay. Do the same process we've been doing. We're going to combine these like terms. 14x minus 6 equals 5x plus 75. I want all my x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract by 5x. I'm going to get 9x minus 6 equals 75. Add 6 to both sides. I'm going to get 9x equals 81. And then I would get divide by 9, and I would get x equals 9. But guys, we're not done. So we found that x equals 9, but what did it ask us for? It found the measure of the indicated angle. Well, what angle are we supposed to find? The measure of angle G. So let's talk about how we would find the measure of angle G. Well, what do we know about the measure of angle G? Well, we know it's called 5x plus 15, so let's write that down. The measure of angle G equals 5x plus 15. Cool. Well, what else do we know? We know that x is 9, so couldn't we plug in 9 here to find the measure of angle G? I think we can. Let's plug it in. So instead of x, I'm going to write 9 here. 5 times 9. If you put that in your calculator, it is 45 plus 15. 45 plus 15 equals 60. Remember, the measure of angle G needs a degrees sign, so the measure of angle G is 60 degrees. We did it. So we solved for x, we plugged in x to angle G, and got 60 degrees. Now, if we checked our work here, right, if we found what this plus this would be 180, and if we found that 60 plus 60 plus this angle should all equal 180 degrees as well. So that would be a way that we could check our work. I'll do that on number 8. Okay, number 8. Same idea. We're still trying to find the measure of an angle, but we need to solve for x first. Okay, so let's do that. Our exterior angle is 20x equals the sum of our remote interior angles, 80 plus 5x minus 5. Okay. We would combine like terms. 20x equals 75 plus 5x. Subtract 5x on both sides. Because I want all my x's on one side, I'd get 15x equals 75. Okay. Divide by 15, and x would equal 5. Okay, remember, we're not done. We have found our x value, but now we need to plug that in to measure of ACD. Well, let's take a look. ACD is 20x. The measure of ACD equals 20x. Okay, so let's plug in our x value into that. 20 times 5 is what we found for x. 20 times 5 is 100. So the measure of ACD is 100 degrees. So let's talk about how we could maybe check our work here. The measure of ACD is 100 degrees. So if you look here, ACD, we just found out, is 100 degrees. All right? So if we know that ACD and DCE both lie on a straight line, that means that we know that this whole thing adds up to 180 degrees. All right? So if this side's 100, this side's got to be 80 degrees. So let's check our work. That means that this angle, and this angle, since they're all in a triangle, should add up to 180 degrees. So in theory, we would have 80 plus 80 plus 5x minus 5 is all going to equal 180 degrees because they all are in a triangle. So let's test that theory. Remember, we know x is 5, so I could have 80 plus 5. I'm going to plug in that 5 minus 5 equals 180. Let's see if this is true. This would be 160 plus 25 minus 5 equals 180. 160 plus 20 equals 180. 180 equals 180. What? We did it. So that means that this answer was correct and this answer was correct. Because the sum of our triangle angles here added up to 180 degrees. So we did it right. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Now you can work on your 2.4 practice. Have a wonderful day.